Welcome to this space where time does not run, but breathes with you, where minutes are not a countdown to a deadline, but a blank canvas where you can paint your own piece. I know you came here looking for something more than a calendar explanation of these days. You're looking for a pause, a sign, perhaps a confirmation that what you feel has a name and a purpose. And I want you to know that it is valid to feel overwhelmed. It is valid to feel that life is moving too fast, and that sometimes we lose the sense of what we are building. We live in an era where haste is the only religion that seems to unite us. We run against the clock, against notifications, against our own expectations, and yet there are weeks in the year when the world seems to slow down a bit, when the air changes density, and even if you don't know exactly why, your body knows it, your mind knows it. And that is where I want us to meet today, where ritual becomes a tool to heal your present, because it doesn't matter whether you are a believer or not. The archetypes of this week speak the universal language of suffering, hope, and human transformation. I am not going to speak to you from a pulpit, nor from a cold theory. I am going to speak from the empathy of someone who knows that carrying the world on your shoulders is exhausting, and that sometimes, just sometimes, we need permission to let it go, to admit that we can't handle everything, and that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to seek light in the middle of confusion. But before we begin this journey through the first 3 days of a week that changes history, I need you to hold in your mind a phrase, a seed that I plant now, and that will water its meaning when we reach the middle of this path, because there are truths that are only understood when we have walked far enough to be ready for them. And that phrase is this: the price of tranquility is not silence, it is inner order. Repeat it in your mind, let it float, because when we reach the center of this story, you will understand why noise is not your enemy, but the disorder within your own emotional home, and how that disorder is what truly takes away your peace, not external circumstances. Let's start at the beginning, with that Monday that often goes unnoticed between the hangover of Sunday and the expectation of Friday, Holy Monday, a day that historically and symbolically marks the triumphant entry, but also the beginning of the cleansing of the temple. And I want you to imagine for a moment that your mind is that temple, a sacred space designed to hold the best of you. But ask yourself, how many merchants are living in your thoughts right now? How many emotional transactions are you making that do not belong to you? How many times have you traded your peace for external approval? How many times have you sold your time out of fear of the future? How many times have you allowed the opinions of others to dictate the value of your efforts? Visual and mental clutter increases cortisol levels, keeps us in a constant state of alert that wears down the soul, keeps us living in perpetual defense against enemies that are often imaginary. And this Monday invites us to take a whip of cords, not to strike anyone, but to drive out the tables of what is unnecessary. It is the day of surgical courage, where you must be empathetic enough with yourself to say, this does not belong here. This worrying is not mine. This resentment does not fit in my sacred space, because resentment is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die, and you are the one carrying the weight of that toxic drink day after day. Imagine entering your own consciousness and seeing the chairs overturned, the coins on the floor, the noise of emotional transactions, and deciding, today, now, to clean it, not because you are perfect, but because you deserve a clean space to breathe. And in doing so, you begin to notice that external chaos loses power when the internal is organized. But be careful, because cleaning hurts. Removing what we have accumulated for years hurts. And it is normal to feel resistance. It is normal to want to leave the tables there, because at least they are familiar, because the familiar, even if painful, feels safe. But I promise you that on the other side of that cleaning, there is a clarity you have never known. There is a new air that fills your lungs and reminds you that you are the owner of this temple, not the noisy guests who have settled in without permission. And while you organize that inner temple, while you sweep away the coins of anxiety and overturn the tables of imposed obligation, we arrive at Holy Tuesday, a day of teachings, of parables, of words that seek to plant something deeper than simple action. It is the day of active listening, not only to what others say, but to what your intuition tells you. that soft voice we often silence with the noise of social media and other people's opinions. But in real life, we call this understanding your own pain. What is your anxiety trying to tell you? What is your insomnia shouting at you? What parable is your body living that your mind refuses to read? This Tuesday isn't about stopping to listen to the stories you tell yourself, because many times we are the narrators of our own tragedies. We repeat old scripts. We believe in characters that no longer exist. We dress ourselves in the clothes of victims, when in reality, we have the power of heroes. And the wisdom of this day lies in changing the script, in understanding that you are not what happened to you, but what you choose to do with what happened to you. It is a day for honest communication, to sit with yourself and ask, am I living my truth, or am I acting a role to please an audience that isn't even really watching me, an audience too busy with their own problems to judge mine? Empathy begins with oneself, and if you cannot be compassionate with your own mistakes, you will hardly be able to genuinely connect with others, because no one can give what they do not have. And if your cup is empty of self-compassion, you will not be able to fill anyone else's. So use this Tuesday to fine-tune your inner hearing, to lower the volume of the world and raise the volume of your essence, because this is where the magic begins to happen, where Monday's order becomes Tuesday's wisdom, and where you begin to glimpse that something more is approaching, something that requires all your attention, because we reach the middle of our path. And it is time to remember that phrase I asked you to keep at the beginning. The price of tranquility is not silence, it is inner order. Now you feel it differently, right? Because you understood that you can have noise around you and peace inside if your tables are overturned and your temple is clean. But something is still missing, facing the shadow, reaching the most complex day of this triad. And it is here, right at this midpoint, that I must tell you something whose full meaning will be revealed only at the end of this script, something crucial for what is to come, something that defines the final battle of this inner week. And it is this: the most painful betrayal is the one we sign with our own fear. Keep this, because when we talk about Wednesday, you will understand why fear is the true Judas of your story, and how that fear disguises itself as prudence to convince you not to live. We now move toward Holy Wednesday, traditionally known as the Wednesday of darkness or the day of betrayal, the day when the delivery is agreed upon. This is the most critical moment of the week, the breaking point where the light seems to go out before the darkest dawn. Many live this day with anguish, feeling that something bad is going to happen, and they are right, but not for the reason you think. The anguish of Wednesday is not about what the world will do to you, it is about what you are about to do to yourself when fear takes the wheel. Think about all the times you have betrayed your dreams for security, all the times you have betrayed your voice for acceptance, all the times you have sold your integrity for a bit of temporary calm. That is Holy Wednesday in your daily life. It is the moment when the shadow asks for a seat at the table, and you must decide whether you serve it wine or invite it to transform. Because betrayal does not always come with a kiss on the cheek from an enemy. Sometimes it comes with a soft whisper in your own head that tells you, you can't, it's better not to risk it. What will they say? You're too old to start. It's too late to change. And that whisper is what signs the pact with darkness. That whisper is what hands over your potential in exchange for an illusion of security that does not exist. Because absolute security is a lie. Life is movement. It is risk. It is uncertainty. And trying to control everything is like trying to stop the wind with your hands. You will only tire yourself, and the wind will keep blowing. But here is the secret most people ignore. Betrayal requires your consent. No one can truly betray you if you have not first abandoned your own center, if you have not stopped believing in yourself, if you have not stopped validating yourself. Because when you validate yourself, external validation becomes an extra, not a necessity. And when you betray yourself, you desperately seek others to rescue you, and that makes you vulnerable, dependent. It takes away your power. And this is where we connect with what I promised to reveal at the end. Because I need you to understand this before closing this cycle. The key to your freedom lies in your own signature, in your own consent. We have reached the end of this journey, but not the end of your process. And it is time to illuminate that phrase we left pending in the middle of the path. I told you that the most painful betrayal is the one we sign with our own fear, and now I want you to understand why this is your greatest light. Because if fear is the one that signs the betrayal, then you hold the pen, you have the power not to sign. You have the authority to revoke that contract at any moment. The darkness of Wednesday is not to condemn you. It is to show you where you are giving away your power. It is an alarm, not a sentence. It is a warning that you are letting fear make decisions for you. And when you understand that you are the guardian of your own loyalty, external betrayal loses its edge. It hurts. Yes, it hurts when someone does not fulfill what they promised. It hurts when someone leaves, but it no longer defines you. It no longer breaks you. Because you know your value does not depend on who leaves, but on who stays. And the one who stays is you, whole, complete, ordered, and listening to your truth. And here is where I want to invite you to something more, because this script is only a beginning. It is a spark, but fire needs constant fuel. And that is why the Gokrip channel exists. A space designed not only to inform you, but to transform you, a place where we continue exploring these connections between the mind, the spirit, and practical action. Because I know you need more than motivation, you need tools. You need community. You need to know that you are not alone in this process of cleaning your temple, refining your listening, and revoking your fears. So I invite you, with my heart in my hand, to subscribe to Gokrip, to become part of this tribe that understands that life is not about avoiding Holy Week, but about living Holy Week every day, renewing, cleansing, and choosing loyalty to oneself. Don't do it out of obligation, do it because you know you deserve a space where your growth is the priority. Because at the end of the day, when the lights go out and the noise stops, the only thing that remains is the relationship you have with yourself, and I want that relationship to be the best story you have ever heard. A story of redemption, order, and courage. And to close this circle, let's return to the beginning, to that first seed I planted when we had just started talking. I told you that the price of tranquility is not silence, it is inner order. And now, after walking through Monday of cleansing, Tuesday of listening, and Wednesday of loyalty, I hope that phrase resonates within you as an absolute truth. Because you can seek silence outside, you can turn off your phone, close the doors, go on a retreat in the mountains. But if inside there is chaos, if inside there are tables of emotional merchants, if inside there are contracts signed with fear, external silence will be deafening. You will go crazy with your own thoughts. On the other hand, if there is order, if there is cleanliness, if there is loyalty to yourself, you can be in the middle of the storm, in the middle of traffic, in the middle of a crisis, and feel an unbreakable calm. That is the true miracle, not that the world changes around you, but that you change the way you inhabit your world. And that is something no one can take away from you. That is something you build day by day, decision by decision. And today, here, you have taken one more step toward that order, toward that peace, toward that version of you that does not need to betray itself to feel safe. Thank you for allowing me to accompany you in these minutes. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your trust. Remember that the door is open, that the Gokrip channel is waiting for you with open arms, so we can keep walking together. Because this is not goodbye, it is see you later. It is see you at the next step of your revolution. Take care of yourself, listen to yourself, and above all, be loyal to the person you see in the mirror, because that person is the only one who will be with you until the end of the road. And they deserve all your love, all your respect, and all your truth. See you inside. See you in Gokrip, where we continue building that inner order that gives us true tranquility. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for choosing yourself.